What's going on, everybody? I am just about to start tearing into my truck. So, unfortunately, at 70,000 miles, my transmission acting kind of funny. It's got a violent shaking going on in it, and it's shooting heat up to about 200 degrees. So I'm going to rebuild it. I've never rebuilt an Allison before either. This is going to be new to me, so this is going to be fun. We're going to do it together. This is important to understand that I've never rebuilt an Allison transmission before, and I'm doing this as a learning experience because I want it to be known that if you have an Allison transmission and you have a problem, don't watch my video for advice because we're learning together. I'm not a professional. I'm an enthusiast. And with that out of the way, I'm going to start taking my transmission apart, and we can have a conversation while we do this live. So I'm going to start taking my transmission apart. I'll be quiet sometimes, but I will be talking for the majority of it. If you guys want to say something on the chat, I will be popping up and looking at it once in a while, but I'm not going to be babysitting the chat is the important part. Unfortunately, if I babysit the chat, then I don't have time to do work. So, all right. So first step in prepping this, if you're following along, we are going to be draining the transmission, which on an Allison 1000 is super easy. It's got a little drain plug. It's fucking awesome. Allison did their homework when they built these transmissions. They're actually modular. I've done some research on how they work. It's a modular transmission. It's super streamlined design. A lot of the guys in the Allison chat rooms on Facebook and stuff that I've been trying to learn how to do this before I decided to tackle this job have told me that when it comes to rebuilding a transmission when you've never done a transmission before, an Allison is an easy one to learn on compared to other transmissions. So I'm about 60% sure that I'm going to be able to do this. So, I'm optimistic. All right. I already got the drain pan under the truck. All right. There we go. Oh, oh. Okay. Let's bring the camera over to look at that because it's kind of an interesting looking color. I don't really understand what's going on with it, but it is an interesting color. It's, yeah, I don't know. It's super cloudy, and that concerns me. I don't know. I'll be excited to see how that looks when I take it apart. I am going to be using the so I don't know if you guys have decided that you want to buy a transmission jack, but if you do decide to buy a transmission jack, one thing that I noticed when I ran all over town trying to do this is that most stores don't have transmission jacks, but there's actually 3 different models over at your Harbor Freight. And I got the little guy, and it's basically a little jack in the box, and then it's got a V-shaped piece of steel on it, and it's got a strap that I've got to fit over the transmission before I drop it. That way I can tighten it up and it'll be attached to the jack. It looks like it's going to be super top heavy when I do this, so the plan is to once I've got the jack attached and I lower the transmission, then I'm planning on more than likely having to lift the truck up and probably get some pretty good sized jack stands, because, you know, like everybody else that had Harbor Freight jack stands, they decided to recall the damn things, and then they didn't give a replacement because, well, I'm sure they did give a replacement, but everybody wanted them and they ran out, so I didn't get any. Anyway, so with that drained, it's not totally drained, by the way. If you guys know how transmissions work, the torque converter is still full, and getting that drained would be a nightmare. So that's going to be full of fluid when we pull it out, and that's just kind of how it is. Nothing we can really do about that. But the next thing to do is we're going to have to separate the transmission from the front and the back. So the next thing to do is pull the drive line. But yep. All right, I'll move this computer over here. There we go. Look at my pretty face. Okay. Hope you guys are having a good Independence Day. All right, where is my... There. Dude, these lights, I got these from Home Depot. They're bright as shit. I like these lights. I've had them for a couple of years. I actually bought them for the purpose of doing YouTube. So, yeah, one of the benefits of buying stuff so that like they are so bright that I'm just whited out. It's great. I really like lights. If you guys also really like lights, give you some information about these lights. These are 40-watt lights. Now, 40 watts equivalent to light. Let's see. So I've got 60-watt equivalent, 60-watt equivalent bulbs, and they run like 9 watts. So I'm gonna estimate 10 watts because I think they're like 9.5 watts. So like 60 watts for 10 watts, and then this is 40 watts. So that's easy math, 240 watt equivalent bulb like lights. They're bright as shit. I got 2 of them. They're awesome. Still pissing out. It's going to be that way for a very long time. The more it comes out, the less we have to deal with. We're still going to have to deal with the splashing and bull crap when we pull the transmission. But the longer that sits there making his little pee stream, the less we have to worry about, and the less it weighs, which I did the research. This transmission's 350 pounds dry, and that transmission jack is rated at 400 pounds. So I don't have a lot of wiggle room. So you got to get as much of that crap out as we can. All right. Oh, exhausted. Okay. So I totally forgot, and is the tail shaft is actually attached to the transfer case. So I got to drain the transfer case before I can pull the drive shaft, or else I'll have gear oil everywhere. All right. I've got 2 drain pans. It's not the end of the world. All right. always nice to have extra drain pads. You never know when you're draining multiple things. Seems to happen more often than not. Or you go to drain something and it's got a fluid capacity that far exceeds what anything needs ever. And it's just trying to piss out over the sides. And so you got to swap real quick. It's good to have two. All right. So I'm debating on something. Considering that I've got to go through and do all this crap anyway, I'm going to have to take the exhaust off, I think. Actually, it looks like it's out of the way. But honestly, it's less of an I think I have to and more of an I think I want to, if we're being totally honest. This is going to piss my neighbors off. But so the worst part about the 8.1 is the EPA decided to strangle the thing. It was built to be a torque monster, and then the EPA was like, yeah, fuck you. Fuel economy. And fuel economy is important, but it did strangle the truck, and it really didn't improve fuel economy at all. But the problems with these trucks are they have an anemic cam. They have the exhaust manifolds are super restrictive. So I was thinking about putting long tube headers and a cam in the truck while I'm at it. I'm going to make it super loud because I don't live in a state where I need cats. And, well, I really don't want them. I don't know. They're expensive and I understand the need for them. Like, you know, they definitely are good for the environment. And I'm a proponent of the environment, but I also do more for the environment on the, you know, other than my vehicles that kind of makes up for it, I guess. Whoa, that was super loose. That should not have been that loose. Oh, that's, huh. There's the smell. All right. Well, that didn't take a lot of fluid. Okay. That's not bad. You guys, the fill plug or the drain plug was like super loose. It was almost like I didn't have to break it at all. Like it was begging to be unscrewed. Like it's kind of a problem. doesn't smell terrible. So that's good news. All right, I get something to get my hand wiped off. That's going to be the overwhelming theme of the day. Constantly wiping my hand off. Well, that's part of the course. Okay. You know what? I need my phone charged. Okay. Okay. All right. There, we're back. I'm gonna plug my phone in so it doesn't die. Because it's constantly trying to die. Uh-huh. Yep. Connected phone. Okay. I do actually have let's see, I'm tried to start using it, but I don't know how to use it. And unfortunately, I am failing at learning. But it is called Streamlabs OBS. I don't know anything about it. If you know something about it, let me know. 'Cause, I could definitely use a crash course on how to use it. All right. Okay. All right. So the way we're doing the drive shaft, if you've never pulled a drive shaft, is pull the back side first and then the front side. But when you pull the front, then fluid just goes everywhere if you didn't drain it, which we did, so it should be fine. Oh, shit. All right. You know, the worst thing is losing your tools. I have no idea where my damn wrench is, so I can continue. Oh, good. And they're black. They're capable of blending into the shadows. Right in front of your face while you try to work. All right, bearings are out. So now I gotta get a pry bar, pull up on the drive shaft. All right. That was pretty simple. Slide that out of the tail shaft. There she goes. There we go. And as you guys can see, it is a bouncing baby drive shaft. Okay. There we go. That's super easy. All right. Okay. Look at that. Managed to do this without even getting my hands dirty. Okay. Let's get under there, and I'm going to put the drain plugs back in. Not because honestly, there's no other reason to put the drain plugs back in other than I want to make sure that dirt doesn't end up getting in anything and I don't end up losing anything. Since I got the drain plugs back in and tightened up, then I will pull the oil pans and dump them. I've got a waste receptacle in my garage. Yes.
May I have one more?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay.
Joey,
Yes.
tell the camera what you think about synthetic versus regular mineral oils.
Give me just a minute.
Take your time.
Let me actually think about this. Because synthetic oil is better on your engine and has fewer impurities, it can go longer than conventional oils or synthetic blends. Turbo engines and older cars may require oil changes every 3 to 5,000 miles. Synthetic oil change intervals range from 10,000 to 15,000 miles, or once a year. Whatever comes first. Wow.
Wow.
Quote unquote, not read from. Do we have to do that?
If you read something
Quote,
verbatim,
huh?
you have to say who you read it from. It's called giving credit to
From-
your sources.
iDriveversity.net. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna
iDriveversity.net.
iDrive. Yeah, iDriveSafety.com.
iDriveSafety.com. Okay.
iDriveSafety.com.
Thank you,
So-
iDriveSafety.com.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Is it going along?
It's moving as expected.
Okay.
I have the transmission and the tail shaft drained, or the transfer case drained. I have the drive line removed.
I saw that. You gonna repaint that when you put it back in?
No,
Okay.
I might rebalance it,
Okay.
or I might put an aluminum drive shaft in. I'm not sure.
How, from Casey's Garage, would you balance a drive shaft?
Well, you put it on a basically it's like a lathe, and what it does is it spins it up to a certain RPM. See, you can actually balance drive shafts based on different miles per hour. So, for example, you can take a drive shaft that's going to be on what?
Do you see that?
Do I see what?
Look.
What?
Show the viewers that. That's cool as shit.
The bugs?
Yeah, what are they?
I don't know.
They're little like, hello, little bugs. Sorry.
They're just bugs.
Okay, I'm going to go real quick. I'll be back.
I got distracted. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Drive lines being balanced at certain miles per hour.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the drive lines. So it's when you balance things, well, when you balance a drive line and they spin it at a certain speed, it actually vibrates at a certain frequency. And what you're doing when you're balancing a drive shaft is you're actually putting weights on it like on a tire, but you're also tuning it to a certain frequency. So somebody that's going to be using a drive line for a race application versus a streeted application would balance a drive line differently. It's good to know that they are balanced differently for different applications if you didn't know that. Just a little fun fact. All right, let's drain this transmission fluid and oh wow, this thing is crammed full. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm actually going to go use the bathroom really quick. All right, I'm back. Now, where were we? Nobody there. Still nobody in the comment section. That's cool. That's good. Okay. There we are. On the ground. The next thing I'm going to do is pull this cross member that's all fucked up. Pretty sure this truck has been high centered at some point. I don't know when. I'm 90% sure that wasn't me. That's very well. I've had to get drug out. It was snow that I got stuck in. I can't imagine it would damage the frame. So, but I mean, it was actually buried up to the front bumper. Anyway, I'm pretty sure the weight was it was stuck on the front bumper and it was just kind of stuck on the frame. I don't know. Where is my all the way down there. You know what? Yeah, there's a bolt on the other side of this, and it's twisting. That's what's happening. Okay. That's easy enough. I just need to. There's that toolbox. Okay. I got 3 of these. I don't know where one of them are, but you know, the 3 of these that I know where 2 of them are. That's useful because I like these a lot. Craftsman isn't sponsoring me, but they need to. Oh, fuck. All right. So, fucked. There's That's not gonna work out. That sucks. So I'm gonna cheater bark. This is my I'm not asking, I'm telling bar. Okay. There we go. Now I can go all the way back here. All right. Okay. Well, let's see what well. Oh. All right. 18. All right, I'm gonna get an 18 on my impact. I'm gonna buzz the bitch off. That's what happened. Oh, that's exciting. Figure out how the fuck I don't have an 18 millimeter. Okay. Hold on. What are you? I don't understand. That's what I need. That's so if I were to stick that in there, that would make a problem. This All right. Joey. right. Oh, it's easy enough. Told you could do it. All right. Well, there's really no reason to be signed on here. You guys are enjoying your Independence Day, and I want to listen to music, so I'm going to get off of here. You guys have a good night. Enjoy your Independence Day.